I get asked this a lot by people like, how did you deal with it? So part of it was, I tell them, was like, find really good distractions. The garden was a huge outlet for me because I got out there and I got to be kind of physically active. It was wildly enjoyable, like to see how things were growing and changing. I would get out there and toil, and for a few hours, I forgot how sick I was. Sometimes I'd get so distracted I didn't realize I just carried a 20-pound bag of soil all the way across the property to put a plant in the ground or change something. I wanted to know I was doing things that mattered to me, that brought me joy. But I look back and I go, that was its own silver lining. It's how I got through it so that I didn't focus on the crap of pancreatic cancer. I would get a little low grade, kind of more like an aching pain in my upper right quadrant, kind of up underneath my rib cage. Sometimes when I would eat, it would almost be sudden indigestion. Not severe, but enough that was different for me. Especially foods that I wouldn't typically think would sort of trigger indigestion. I noticed some slight changes in my stool at the time. I mean, nothing severe, but enough to go, seems a little different. But again, it's easy to blame, like, well, it's just what I ate. I mean, we did a number of tests, and they all came back negative, and that was it. It was, well, you're young, you're healthy, you're not overweight, you're not my typical patient. So I endured these painful, uncomfortable bouts for a few more years up until the night of Christmas of 2020. I was going to dismiss it like I had gotten to because, I had several specialists keep dismissing me. Christine was a little more concerned about this one and really thought I had to go to a doctor, which I told her I would never do again. Again, things looked fairly normal, but this doctor decided to do a few more tests, which led to a CT, which identified a spot on my pancreas right at the neck between sort of the horn and the head, and followed it with an MRI to confirm it, and which they confirmed the adenocarcinoma. And the roller coaster started from there. Is there a formula? I don't know, but I just would like to think there's a way to keep spirits up, because I do believe a bit in keeping a more positive outlook. I think it's going to work for you as you go through all the darkness of the challenge with pancreatic cancer. You have good days, but you have plenty of bad days. Sometimes it's about just getting through the day, maybe even just a minute. All I say is I'm going to find the silver lining here. I'm going to find it and try to reframe certain situations, because it would help sort of keep that hope alive. Prior to this, I'm a huge gardener. I like to garden. This is what I do, and I don't think until someone sees it, they go, oh, you really like to garden. All these forms and the leaves and the shapes and the colors, and when one thing fades, another thing takes over. And gardening sounds cliche. That was already my own personal thing, but whether it's if you're a movie buff or books, or just find those things that take your mind off of ruminating about what you're dealing with, because those moments are going to happen, and I think you should feel them. They're a real part of the journey. Those sort of dark days, or like, can I do this anymore? Do I want to do this anymore? And allow your mind to kind of wander elsewhere, because I'm looking for stimulus that is not coming from this sort of dread inside. I also do a lot of art. It's both my profession and I do stuff personally. When I got my diagnosis, I went and bought all these extra art supplies, thinking I'm not going to have much energy and I'll probably be stuck in a chair or whatnot, but I need to find a different focus. Again, we all deal with it differently. It is draining on some of us in ways it's harder to muster that up, because again, mine oftentimes was, if you at least go move around, I felt a lot better. This was my first Christmas tree. I have this philosophy: everything gets a second life. So I said, "Hey, let's make a little Christmas tree, or a little tree as a pancreatic awareness thing." And so found purple lights. It's just been a nice little feature in the garden. Anyone could be obviously affected by this. There comes with that hopefully more resources, more attention, because there's other cancers that certainly get it, and we can see the improvement in those. So I'm certainly hopeful that's what's going to happen here, and we will see that number keep changing. And we'll see we'll hear more stories of patients overcoming pancreatic cancer.